I was going to try to do that. I remembered we were looking at his actual screen here too.
I was trying to.
Yeah, we can't click on anything.
We're actually just spying on Reid right now.
We are. This isn't our client that we have up. It's his on his machine. And what we're looking at is, so he's clicked Figure of Destiny to indicate. I talked to Reid beforehand, and I asked him to click on the card that he was thinking about picking the most, and then give us a few seconds so that we could chat. And it looks like Figure of Destiny, he wants to be aggressive in this cube.
Yeah.
I heard you ask him.
Oh, wait, he may have switched. Now he's looking at a Johnny Gold.
Another aggressive card. All right. So, can we ask?
So he may have been thinking a figure, but yeah, there he goes. He takes a Johnny Goldmade.
Yeah, very aggressive early pick there. And he gets past Gideon Jura, and you see him almost immediately click it to indicate to us that, hey, oh, look.
We can see who's sitting around him right now. So he's being passed by Pinus.
Okay.
That's Jorge.
Yes.
And so he's going to let that Gideon. He's going to take his time here and eventually draft himself a Gideon. One of the, defining cards of Standard when it was in Standard. Some of the other seal of Cleansing, that's new to the cube now, right?
That is absolutely new to the cube.
And what do you think about like Planeswalker as your first two picks in a draft?
I think that's great. I mean, the thing is Gideon by itself is fantastic. Like, it's a win condition. It's great against aggressive decks. It can beat down. So it's just a great card. A Johnny Goldmane, not as much. You really need creature support to make it great.
Wow. So here we see, a Jace Architect of Thought, a third Planeswalker, Snapcaster Mage, which he immediately highlights, Yosei, Fiend Hunter, Angelic Destiny.
Yeah, I like Snapcaster Mage here as well. I think that's a solid pick for Reid.
Just assume you're going to get some spells.
Yeah, you'll get something. There's a Tangle Wire there as well, which I think is one of the more underrated cards in the cube.
I was just going to say, Tangle Wire seems like a card. I know that Reid was talking about how the idea that he felt like there were some very aggressive white decks that were possible right now.
Yeah, I heard you ask him if how much of practice he had done and if he thought that the format was aggressive or supported aggression.
Right, he thought there was a red aggressive deck and a white aggressive deck.
Okay.
Very much. And so, Tangle Wire is a card that works really well in that strategy. Zach Hill is just in actual mortal pain that, a Tangle Wire is going forth in a cube draft.
That's true.
Okay, get a look at his next pack. Leonin Relic Water, Calciderm, which is a card that goes around.
I think he's going to take Mystic Gate probably.
Mystic Gate, which is one of the filter lands that
lets you
push either a blue or white land to go white, blue-white, or blue-blue. Teferi Mage of Zalfir and Thieving Magpie, both cards that might come around.
Yeah, they might, especially the Magpie. I mean, as cool as it is, it's not ultra powerful. Teferi is, but triple blue is rough.
And I must have just been doing too many Gatecrash drafts because I'm like, what is this guy doing? Leonin Relic Water costs 2. It's a 2-drop. Draft it. I actually kind of like the Vindicate there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Just go for Esper?
Yeah, like Vindicate, Snapcaster Mage, Vindicate. Like, you're going to get, there's so much mana fixing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he wouldn't run a Johnny Goldmane most likely, but that's not a big deal. This is Cube. You can do a bunch of stuff. All right, Venser Shaper Savant is what he clicks here. I love that card.
Yeah, very versatile. Can get a blocker out of the way. Can, sort of remand a spell on the stack. Does Tectonic Edge look better to you knowing how many more non-basic lands are?
It always looks good to me anyway. I love Tectonic Edge, though picking it up this early, you got to kind of go for Venser here, I think.
Sure. And again, some aggressive white creatures that if other people don't have that same experience that he has, we could see maybe an 8.5 Tails or a Mirror. Well, Mirror Entity's not going to come back around, but
it could.
Rashad and Marshall are both nodding at me. They're like, yep, Mirror Entity's going to come around. Wow. Oh, there's the behemoth sledge you were talking about earlier.
There is. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Reid. It looks like Reid's going down more of a blue-white control path.
He's certainly looking to be a control deck here.
Yeah, so he's clicked on miscalculation there. A really great card for control. If you have it in the early stage of the game, you can use it as almost a hard counter spell. If you draw it later, you can just cycle it away. Right. Great card.
Do you not love Forbidden Alchemy here?
I love Forbidden Alchemy, though it's not clear that he's going to be moving into black at all yet.
You don't have to move that hard into it, right?
It's true, you don't.
1 or 2 cards.
But miscalculation's really powerful.
I guess I love the synergy between Snapcaster Mage and Forbidden Alchemy.
It isn't quite as good with miscalculation. That's true.
But there's a Volcanic Island. There's a Shrieking Grotesque. That's also a new card to the cube.
It is.
From the original Ravnica cycle.
And it looks like Reid has gone for the Volcanic Island to kick things off. So he's looking to be a control deck. He could be blue-white-red. He could be blue-white-black. He could just be blue-white. But there's nothing in here that really is calling to him. So he's just going to take the non-basic land, which I like that pick a lot.
And he does take it. What do you? What's going on? Right near him.
So I'm looking at George, who's on his right, and I'm kind of checking out what he's doing. As we see,
Force of Will over Gideon. Now someone's setting up a possible Crucible of Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Tectonic Edge. Yeah. If they get a Wasteland or something else.
But it looks like Reid wants to go hard into the control area here, so he's going to take the Force. So on his right, George is drafting a ramp deck. I should say George is attempting to draft a ramp deck, and he's got some of the pieces already, but you need all of them. He's got some early ramp in green, and he's got some huge fatties to cast with it in the form of Sunring Titan and Terastodon. So what we're seeing right now is he is not in Reid's way in any shape. He's just not even close.
So there we were talking about how, the black mana is going to come, going back to Reid's pack, you're going to see how, the black mana is just kind of incidentally just shows up.
Yep.
There's a lot of lands. Do you think about Relic of Progenitus? Oh, but now he's looking at Yavimaya Coast.
Yeah, I would take a look at Relic of Progenitus myself, but I would definitely take one of the lands. I don't know which one. I don't know. I'm not sure, what would guide his decision right now. I would probably take the black-blue because maybe we get back the Forbidden Alchemy or something.
Right. Here we see Seal of Cleansing, Coral Helm Commander, which could be a nice finisher, but he takes the Destructive Force. Just obviously saying, I'm going to get this card out of here. I don't want to lose all my land. Control matchups are all about getting the most land as possible into play.
Yeah, that's an interesting pickup here.
Oh no, yeah, doesn't want to have to sacrifice 5 lands.
Or he might even try to run it.
A late Yosei.
He got Yosei back. All right, yeah, these big dragons go around pretty late. Yeah, there's a chance he runs Destructive Force, I suppose. Though with that kind of card, you'd really prefer to have a lot of artifact ramp, and he doesn't have any.
Sure. And there's a Drowned Catacomb.
He's snapping that up. And it looks like
you take the Chaos Warp here, right? You already have a free red land.
Yeah, he doesn't have any bounce lands yet, so he probably wouldn't mind having one of those. Stag's nice to get out of the way.
Yeah, get the heck out of here.
I think it's a last pick Curse Catcher in the first pack here, so not too bad.
You see he moves the Sable Stag over to sideboard, moves the Curse Catcher away.
Yeah, this is one of the nice features of the beta client.
I gotta say, I've loved building decks in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the draft portion is really a highlight for sure.
Okay, we're into pack 2. Elish Norn.
I think he's going to take
for those
Path.
Reanimators. Yeah.
Yeah, he's highlighted Path. Elish Norn, though, is excellent, and you can play it in a straight-up deck. You don't have to reanimate it.
Any chance you guys think the Enclave Cryptologist will table?
I mean, you're talking... will table? I thought you were going to suggest first picking it because,
I would
you will not get an argument out of me.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think it will. I think there's a good chance it comes back. Absolutely.
A card I love, by the way, here is Rude Awakening.
Oh, you like Rude Awakening?
I love Rude Awakening. It's just kind of like a long game fireball kind of card where you're just like, all right.
We did it.
Yep.
So he could wheel an Enclave Cryptologist, a Condescend,
a Blue Elemental
Blast, maybe, which is a nice sideboard card, or Elishnorn.
Sure.
He would also take that Rugged Prairie.
Yeah, Elishnorn, sometimes perfectly fine in a fair deck.
Yes, it really is. As long as you can get to that point of the game, it's totally fine.
Oh, there we see an Chroma's Vengeance, which I'm going to assume he's going to slam there.
I don't know. I don't think you take it. Yeah. So one of the things about board sweepers in Cube in general, and in this one, I'm assuming, again, I don't know, I haven't drafted it myself, but is that they're usually abundant. You can get one if you want it. You don't need to prioritize them.
So many good cards, though.
There are a lot of sweet cards.
Wickerbow Elder, a fine card.
Yep.
Thragtusk, just cross-format all-star.
Primeval Titan.
Trigon Predator, just really like a baller.
Yeah, there's also a Gifts Ungiven here.
And a Dimir Aqueduct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's Demonic Tutor in this pack, which is the best card in the pack probably, but it looks like Reid doesn't want to play black. Yeah, he just doesn't want to play black or doesn't plan on it.
And he did take the Tidings. There's an Unburial Rites to go with somebody's Elishnorn. There's the Faith's Fetters.
Wow. So we just saw Elishnorn, Gifts Ungiven,
and Unburial Rites.
Hope somebody's paying attention.
So Pristine Talisman, he looked at Faith's Fetters.
Yeah, that's probably worth a look. Sometimes it's hard to deal with opposing Planeswalkers.
Poor Stonecloaker. No one loves him.
I don't love him. One card he could wheel here, I don't like him either, is a Sphinx of Dwar Isle, which, seems a little bit not amazing compared to some of the stuff that we have out recently, but it's actually still very strong. By the way, George just windmilled that Primeval Titan.
The Ram just got the Primeval Titan.
Just couldn't have been more happy. Yeah, but Pristine Talisman's a reasonable pick here, and it is what he takes.
Oh, wow, look at this. Vesuvian Shapeshifter, Counterspell, and Glenalendra Archmage.
Yeah, all really solid. It looks like, though, Reid, again, we've seen that on his picks, he seems to be committed to taking what's really a blue-white control line here.
Yeah. Counterspell, the card that named the archetype.
Yeah, right? It's hard to disrespect that
people
one.
Talk about having counterspells because of this card.
Yeah, that's right. Some other notable cards.
I think the Glenalendra card
it's fantastic in the cube, absolutely. Shapeshifter is too. Marsh Flats is a card that he would love to pick up.
Right, he's got a number of good cards. He's got the Hinterland Harbor if he's, again, has some idea that he wants to be Banty.
Mm-hmm. There was a Bant Charm in his early pick. He could wheel that.
Chancery is a card.
Yep.
Wait.
But he just goes for good old Counterspell.
Ooh, and look at that.
So suddenly he's moving over towards straight blue-white control, it looks like. We've seen that from his picks. Is he going to move the
Curse Catcher into his deck?
Doesn't look like it.
There's a Remand.
And a Deep Analysis.
And a Decree of Justice.
Yeah, so he's actually got a lot of good choices
and I
here.
Tell you, Shining Shoal is, we saw Phyrexian Obliterator earlier. Let me tell you something. You're not having fun in Magic until you've Shining Shoal to Phyrexian Obliterator's damage back onto itself.
Decree, Remand, Deep Analysis.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly, just the way he's been building this deck, you obviously take the Remand, but something's going to come back. Something's going to come back here.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Deep Analysis would be higher on his radar, except for that he also has already taken a Tidings.
Yeah.
And you certainly don't want to get stuck with all card draw, although I know quite a few players that would be very happy with that. But, yeah, Remand's a better choice. Ooh.
Sower of Temptation.
And Phantasmal Image, both excellent. Paladin and Vec, not as much.
Right. Ratchet Bomb, a good card that, is not going to, he's going to be able to use to good effect against, aggressive decks without hurting himself. But
at least one drop heavy, whoever took that.
Right. He's and this is also great against Legends, right?
Yes.
I know I passed that Elishnorn. Phantasmal Image it.
Yeah. Although I got to say, Elishnorn's not very good versus him.
He also has a Yosei, by the way.
Uh-huh.
So you Phantasmal Image your Yosei. They legend rule each other.
Uh-huh.
You tap a bunch of permanents, and they skip their next 2 untap phases.
Those stack?
Those stack.
Oh, that's dirty.
I think so, anyway. So he does take the Phantasmal Image.
And Augur of Bolas seems really good here. Again, ever since he took the Snapcaster Mage, You know, you can tell that he's keenly aware that this is a Snapcaster Mage deck. He's taking spells highly, and he's taking cheap ones.
Miscalculation, Remand, Counterspell. Augur Bolus finds those cards.
Yeah.
I like the whiteboarded Phyrexian Arena in the cube.
Yeah. Stands out. Reid has 5 creatures right now.
Oh, wait. And we see, he's going to go with Dismiss.
Yeah, Delver actually goes in this deck just fine. Of course, the problem is when you take that, you open yourself up to them having any of the removal that they could have.
Sure.
And what that means is, like, most of his threats are going to be really resilient to removal or have another effect. This is just a pure threat. And if if it eats a lightning bolt, it's not like it's the end of the world, but, like, your Venser already got value. You almost want them to use a lightning bolt on that, but Dismiss it is.
And the Cryptologist does come back around, but it seems like he's looking at the blue Elemental Blast.
Oh, man, I'd take the Cryptologist. That's just me, though.
Yeah, no, it's not just you.
Nah, maybe not.
It's me, too.
Okay.
And
Rashad
also says, but you know what? We're not the reigning Magic
Online we're not, and I'm going to default to Reid on this one.
I will believe him.
But I do like Cryptologist
who play tests with 6 Hall of Famers.
Sure.
And every non-Japanese player of the year since 1997.
He immediately puts it in his sideboard, which is where it goes.
And there's that Dimir Aqueduct.
And the Gifts Ungiven.
Gifts Ungiven. A Skeletal Scrying. But he's going to take the Dimir Aqueduct again. Could find some black cards later on. Also, just as we've talked about, it's just kind of a card advantage land.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And there's the Sphinx of Dwar Isle that you were talking about.
Yeah, I think that's a good resilient threat. I think you should pick it up here.
Yeah, and it's got Shroud.
Yeah, it's just really tough to deal with, and it ends the game quickly. Also, its side ability isn't irrelevant. It is something to consider as well.
Should I read Stonecloaker?
I think he wanted to enlarge it, but he was scared to.
G.I. Joe on it, he's asking.
All right, he does take that.
Oh, look at the Azorius Chancery.
Is that also the Shapeshifter?
But the Shapeshifter is just, again, now he's got 2 different ways to do something really brutal with that Yosei.
Yeah.
Although it does involve putting your dragon in your graveyard. There's a Shining Shoal. He's going to take the Burning of Jin Ye. I don't know how you say that.
That's how I say it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I say it the same way.
It's essentially, for those of you looking for a translation at home, it says Wildfire.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, last pack. Doesn't.
Boy, there is a punishing, like if he had like crazy artifact, man, he's got all the punishing. Yeah, land punishers there. The wildfire,
and the big wildfire. Yeah. Now we see.
I think that translates in Chinese to devastating wildfire.
Yeah. So Reid has 19 playables, but 3 of those are lands. So he's already at 16. He doesn't even need to pick up that many to make his deck good. He's going to want to fill out his curve a little bit, a few more 3-drops, and really he wants to add some power. Right. Like right now, a Johnny Goldman isn't doing hardly anything. I'd kind of be surprised if it actually made the main deck even.
So wow, this pack is.
He's going to take Wormcoil Engine,
I
think.
Full of just great cards. Both Silverblade Paladin and Sublime Archangel, by the way, I think are tremendously underrated in Cube.
Oh, okay.
I think they're both like just premium creatures. I
especially together.
I've done that.
That is disgusting.
Turn 3 Silverblade Paladin, turn 4 Sublime Archangel, attack you.
That is not
with,
even
some sort of like alarm tokens or something. It's disgusting.
That is disgusting. But I like his pick here.
Yeah,
I think it's easily the best card to take. I mean, Terminus wouldn't be too bad to have in his deck either. He'll be hoping to wheel that.
Right, and again, all he wants to do is hold the ground, counter things, just not let you get set up, and then start playing his 6-drops.
That's right.
His devastating 6-drops.
Yep, a classic control build here, and Wormcoil Engine really is just one of the premier finishers because it's really tough to deal with and because it gets you back in the game that you were behind on. It's really just a premier 6, so a great pickup for Reid here. He's really has his finishers pretty nicely lined up. Gideon Jura, Yosei, Sphinx of Dwar Isle, and Wormcoil Engine.
And now you see, again, a number of choices.
There's Serum Visions and Dungeon Geist.
Frantic, well, again, he's not looking to put anything in his yard necessarily. But Frantic Search.
For Frantic Search.
Yeah,
no, he doesn't want that.
I like Frantic Search. It's a nice card, but not
disadvantage, dude.
Sure.
Yeah, you can't just go down a card. Reid's just. Well, I guess you could since you have Tidings in your deck, but so it looks like he's going to keep it simple. He's going to take Serum Visions.
Flame Tongue Kavu if you wanted to, get fancy with your
He
red
does
mana.
have a Volcanic Island.
Yeah. You know, it's another card that's not terrible. Is Dark Confidant. He's got a number of black sources.
Yeah, he also has a number of 6-drops.
Yeah, well, you don't have to run this. You don't have to run the Sphinx.
Sure. Yeah, Serum Vision seems like a solid pick.
Yeah,
Again, works well with Snapcaster, cheap instants or sorceries. Oh, man.
Would have loved to have seen a Delver in there. Oh, something juicy coming up.
Yeah, there it is.
A couple of juicy cards. Time Spiral's also pretty juicy.
It is pretty juicy, but, man, Consecrated Sphinx, we saw. So I took a peek over at George's board, and I saw it, and I just pointed it to BDM, and BDM goes, uh-oh, something's coming up, and boom. And Reid, I don't think he can move that mouse any faster.
Yeah.
He loves seeing Consecrated Sphinx. He can replace the Sphinx of Dwara with
I was just saying, how many 6-drops do you want in a
I think
deck?
3's good.
You think he'll end up sideboarding the Sphinx?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Hand of Cruelty, a new addition to the cube, replaces Black Knight. A little Bushido action.
Oh, Bushido, okay. So not First Strike, but Bushido instead. Yeah, Turnabout's not a card he's really interested in. Time Spiral,
Celestial
maybe.
Purge,
He'd love to wheel that.
He'd love to wheel that, yeah.
But he's very happy to pick up that Consecrated Sphinx here, too.
Okay.
I think he's going to move that Sphinx over, but he's taking a look first. Ooh.
Impulse, yeah.
Well, now he clicked Impulse, but I saw
Vendilion
click.
Another control staple.
Yes.
And gives you, more than anything, just giving you information, about what you need to counter, not counter.